Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about why is budgeting important and why you should be paying attention to the paperwork that you're signing. So, the reason why budgeting is important, it puts you in charge of when you're trying to get something. So, if you don't have a budget, you're getting excited about a purchase, but then you may have some regrets about what the fees actually are after you sign the paperwork. So if you're having a budget, that helps you to say, okay, this is what I actually can afford, and this is what I can appropriate for this different expense. So I'll give you an example. Say, for instance, housing. I see a lot of people that are house poor. What that means is they're in a position where they don't have no other money set aside for enjoyment or other expenses because the majority of their money is spent in housing. So the good rule of thumb is 30% or less on housing. And you can go a little bit over that. That's will be completely up to you based on your budget. So how do you calculate 30% of your um, amount for housing? So say for instance, if you have 30,000 a year, you make 30,000 a year, you would take 30,000 and times it by zero point 0.3, which is 30%, which would give you 9,000. And then you take that 9,000 and then you divide it by 12, that would give you 750. So that would be a good rule of thumb. You can go a little over it, but again, it goes back to what are your budgeting needs. What I see a lot of times, people have a lot of different debt these days, like student loans, credit cards, and different things of that nature. So you want to be able to have a little cushion if you got too much debt as well. So you want to keep that in mind when you're trying to get a house or a car or something like that. So the budgeting again puts you in control of how much you want to spend. So keep that in mind. That's why it's important to budget. It may seem like a bad thing for a lot of people, but it's actually a good thing because it puts you in control of how much you want to spend. So that way you have wiggle room instead of that person telling you, hey, this is what you need to spend. Keep in mind also, when you're trying to get expense, they're looking at your gross, not your net. Your gross is before taxes, and we all know the net and gross is totally two different things. Your budget, you're looking at your net income. So that's telling you the true figure of what the money you're actually working with. Also, another thing that I would encourage you when you're trying to get something is look at what you're signing. How many times have you signed something that you didn't really understand? I know I have. I've done that in the past, but I don't do that anymore. I'm paying attention to what I'm reading. And the example of that is I had a procedure that I had to do not so long ago, and I had to read the paperwork. And as I was reading, the lady said, well, this is what this means. I said, I understand. I said, but I still want to read it to make sure I'm understanding what I'm signing. So sometimes people can kind of try to pressure you to sign something right away. But I would encourage you, you're trying to get a purchase or anything, making sure you're understanding what you're getting into. Sometimes we can get so hyped up or so happy about something that we fail to read the documents and what it entails. So I would encourage you to take your time to make sure you're understanding what you're getting into. And that's where the budget comes in. The budget puts you in control and say, okay, this is what I want to stick with. What are these terms indicating to me? Hopefully you like this content. Let's give you some tips on why budgeting is important. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if you'd like me to work with you, my information is down below. And as always, have an awesome day, everyone.